Premium quality football shirts at an extremely affordable price. Sound good? If so, check out the sponsor of today's video, jerseyfifa.com. You can see that I've sent you some shirts and they really are top quality, so make sure to click the link in the description to go find a shirt for yourself or perhaps as a gift for someone else. And you can now use code jerseyfifa at checkout for 10% off your order. That's code jerseyfifa at checkout for 10% off your order. I really do recommend their product, so go take a look. Now let's get into the analysis. So firstly, apologies for the delay with this video coming out. I have been ill, I'm still ill, you can probably hear it in my voice, but we're going to soldier on anyway, because as we all know, Erik has been confirmed as the next manager of Manchester United. From the outside looking in, it does look like an extremely exciting prospect, and I know that a lot of fans are really looking forward to seeing how things turn out. But as I've been saying a lot recently, there is a lot of work that needs to be done at the club. I've done several videos recently looking at players that Manchester United could sign and certain things that Ten Hag needs to do as soon as possible, so make sure to go check out those videos to see my ideas on a few different players. And whether you agree with the players that I've suggested or not, it seems pretty obvious that United are going to be doing a lot of work in the transfer market this summer, and as well as that, I've also spoken about some of the tactics that could come in place as well. But I realised that I haven't yet actually given my opinion on the whole situation. So in today's video I'll be doing exactly that, and I'm going to really break down a few things that I think we can expect to see at the club over the next few seasons. So first things first, one thing that Erik will bring to Manchester United is a winning mentality. And even in his reasonably short stint as manager of Ajax, we have seen him winning plenty of trophies and league titles for his side. One of his best spells as Ajax manager came back in 2019, when Ten Hag built and led an incredible young Ajax side all the way to the semi-final of the Champions League against all odds, and they were loved by everyone that year. Despite all the love that that team got, I would actually make an argument for the current team being better. Now I know they didn't do as well in the Champions League this year, but the football that they've been playing has been of a different level. Now personally, I think this is the thing that makes this whole move so exciting, because Ten Hag has proven his ability to build and rebuild teams, and I'm sure that with the backing of Rangnick, we could see something similar once again. And let's be honest, a rebuild is certainly what is needed, because this really isn't a great Manchester United squad. There's a lot of flaws in the squad, and the group has become extremely disjointed, and a lot of players have gone off track with their careers. Now Ten Hag will make changes to the squad with signings over the next couple of seasons, but he will also put a lot of work in with the current group of players. And again, something he is great at is getting at the best out of what he's got. Let's look at his work with Dusan Tadic for example. When he left the Premier League, Tadic looked like a reasonably decent attacking player. However, Ten Hag has taken him to a different level, turning him into one of the best creators in Europe. We've also seen something similar with Haller as well. In the Premier League he really struggled. However, Ten Hag recognised his talent, brought him into the club and again developed him into one of the best goal scorers in Europe this season. Now this isn't something that we've just seen this season, because Ten Hag has been doing this for years, and a prime example is actually former Manchester United player Daley Blind, who again has taken his game to the next level to develop into a top player. Something else that has really impressed me about Erik Ten Hag and his spell with Ajax is his work with the academy. And he's been more than happy to put trust into young upcoming talents, throwing them into the biggest games of the season. If we're looking for an example of this, then Ryan Gravenberch is perfect. Even at just 19 years old, Ten Hag hasn't hesitated to play him in all the biggest games in the Champions League and in the league in their hunt for the title. This has got to be music to the ears of some of the young players at Manchester United, like James Garner, and I'm sure he'll think that he can break into the first team pretty soon, something that I'll be doing a video on in the upcoming weeks. I'll also be doing a video on Medjbri quite soon as well, and I'll be looking at whether or not he can come in and play a similar role to what Gravenberch has, so make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a video. Now, Manchester United are obviously known for their famous academy. However, over the past few years, the path into the first team has been blocked by older players who don't really have a future at the club, but hopefully this will change. So in terms of looking at the squad and the personnel, Ten Hag does look like a good fit thanks to his ability to get the best out of players, whilst also having the courage to bring the youth players into the first team in the biggest games. So we now have a rough idea of how Ten Hag will look to manage the squad, but I also want to quickly do an extremely brief overview of the tactics that I think he'll use, although I've covered it in more depth in other videos. So first things first, Erik Ten Hag will want Manchester United to play like all the typical modern day clubs do, and there will be an expectancy for Manchester United to take risks, to play out from the back even when under pressure. Having played out from the back, I'm quite confident that over the next couple of years, United will become a team that dominate matches, and I'm sure the average possession numbers will be much higher than what we've seen at the club over the past 10 years. With the team dominating possession, I think a key part of Erik ten Hag's setup will be to have plenty of width in the opposition's half, and whether it's the fullback or the wingers, it will be crucial that United make the pitch as big as possible. In these situations, United will commit plenty of players forward to the attack, meaning the team is set up to counter-press, and having these players in advanced areas will allow United to quickly win the ball back when they lose possession. What we can see, even just from this brief look at the tactics, is that Erik ten Hag is very much a man that works in the mould of the typical modern day manager, with high intensity, possession orientated play always the focus. In this respect, Ten Hag is quite similar to the likes of Klopp and Guardiola, often asking his team to press with the intensity like Klopp likes his sides to, whilst also looking to dominate possession as we always see from Guardiola. What this will really do for Manchester United is help create a clear identity and philosophy of how they want to progress as a team, which is something that has been lacking at the club for far too long, and this is a key change. Ultimately, I think this is what Manchester United fans want to see most. They want to see that the club has a clear identity and style of football that is both entertaining for the fans, whilst also securing points for the team on the table. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but the real key words are direction and philosophy, and I do think that Erik ten Hag is the key man to develop this at Manchester United and get the club moving in the right direction together. However, whilst this all sounds brilliant and it looks like things are going to be great, it will take time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and this Manchester United rebuild won't be either, and this really has to be a long-term project. This is also where the fans come in as well. As much as it has been a rough time over the past few years, they are now going to have to be extremely patient, because United will make mistakes, but that is part of the process. We can look at Manchester City for example. They brought one of the best managers in history into the club, and whilst they made a bright start to the season, they still conceded a lot of goals for some really sloppy errors. The same happened with Klopp at Liverpool. Despite taking over with more than half the season to go, they still finished as low as 8th in the table, and it's just a perfect example of the fact that it takes time for these rebuilds to happen. In fact, this will arguably take even longer than what the rebuild at Liverpool did, simply because this is an extremely flawed Manchester United squad, and the changing room and everything seems to have become extremely fractured. And for this reason, I do think that Ten Hag will have some struggles early on in his time at Manchester United, which is exactly why that fan patience is so important. United may have to go backwards slightly before they go forward. But if given enough time and backing, I do think that Erik ten Hag will make the necessary changes that are needed at the club. And as I was saying right at the start of the video, one thing that we'll see is new signings coming in. Again, this is something that I've spoken about a lot recently, and I do think that the centre-back position is one of the key priorities for Manchester United to address this summer. It's vital that they bring someone new into the club for this role. The same is the case for the holding midfielder position as well, because we've seen how much better United are when Matic is in the side, but he will be leaving, so United need to find someone who can come in and play a similar sort of style. I also think that United need improvements slightly further forward in the midfield as well, because whilst I do think that Fred has played well recently, I don't think that either Fred or McTominay are the type of player that Ten Hag will build around. And then finally, up front, there is a massive decision that needs to be made. There is no ifs or buts. Manchester United have to sign a striker this summer, but if I'm being honest, I'm not too keen on many of the options available. And on top of this, there is also then a decision to be made for Cristiano Ronaldo as well. Is he the perfect goalscorer that Ten Hag will want leading his side from the front, or are his flaws out of possession so big that he doesn't get in the team? With all of that being said, the most important thing this summer is going to be the recruitment. Unfortunately, in Rangnick, Manchester United now have someone who should help the club make the right decisions with who they're looking to bring into the team. And personally, I'm really excited about the summer transfer window, because I do think that there will be several players being brought into the club, whilst I also think there'll be plenty heading out of the club as well, which is needed. Overall, I do think that Erik ten Hag joining is a massive positive for the club, and as I keep saying, I do think that is a big step in the right direction, and he should help United make a step forward over the next few years as a football club. In the short term, I do actually think that the lack of Champions League football next season will also be a positive for the team, because it will allow United to focus more on the league and tactical developments within the team. And then in 2 or 3 years time, I am genuinely quite confident that Manchester United will be a much better team than what they are now, and I do think that they will have closed the gap to the likes of City and Liverpool, even if it's just slightly.
because by this sort of time Manchester United younger players will be coming into their prime. And if United can get the recruitment right, as I was saying earlier, United could have a squad hitting their peak at a similar time. Maybe, just maybe, if it all goes right over the next couple of years, then we might finally see Manchester United challenging near the top again. And who knows, there might even be some trophies added to the cabinet along the way as well. But as always, I am super interested to hear your thoughts, so let me know them in the comments down below. And also, I want to say a massive thank you to anyone who has put up my voice for this long. I'm struggling, I don't like hearing it, I'm sure you guys don't. So I just want to say thank you for all the support on the channel, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.